Let me say something that might surprise you. In today's market, investing 1.2 million dirhams could be riskier than investing 3 million dirhams. Not because of the project, but because of the developer behind it. The affordable segment today is full of fancy brochures and impressive marketing, but very average execution. And that's where most investors lose money. Not when they purchase, but at handover and afterwards. But every now and then, a project comes up at a very affordable enterprise, yet the developer behind it has a kind of background you could normally expect in a top tier premium developer. And that's exactly why today we are talking about a boutique developer called Meraki Development and their new project that might quietly become one of the smartest investment opportunities within the 1.5 million investment range. So let's get into the video and understand the details. Meraki is not the usual developer that you would come across when you search or when you analyze projects in Dubai real estate. It's not a mainstream developer. So let's understand the leadership behind that and why I'm talking about Meraki and why it's a big thing. The chairman and founder of Meraki Development is Mr. Ajay Rajendran. To understand who he is, he was the vice chairman of Soba Development. If you know Dubai real estate, I'm sure you would know the name Soba. They are well known for quality. They never compromise on quality. This person, he was in one of the topmost positions at Soba, and that thinking is what he's bringing into his own development, Meraki Development and its projects. We will understand this when we go through the projects in detail, how they have performed in the market, what kind of returns they have brought to the investors, and when we go through that, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So let's understand a bit about the developer, what they have done. So they have been in the market for over 25 years as contractors, although they got into development in late 2015. So in 1992 is where they started their journey as contractors, and they have delivered projects worth of 5.3 billion dirhams in Dubai so far. 2007 they established Meraki Facade Glazing and Architectural Metalworks. They established the establishment of 130,000 square foot production facility dedicated to this. 2014 they got into premium K-12 education sector. For example, the Heartland International at Soba Heartland 1 belongs to Meraki Group, and they have many other projects also, like the North London Collegiate School at Dubai as well as in Singapore, and few other education institutions that they manage under their umbrella. And 2015 they got into development as a developer, Meraki Developers, and they started introducing their own projects into the market. 2016, okay, there was a consolidation of Meraki Developer under the Meraki Group. 2016, Meraki Group was formed, acting as an umbrella for all their subsidiaries. 2017 they launched their very first project, Meraki Genesis, and 2019 was a big milestone. They handed over one of the contracting projects, Rixos Hotel JBR, which is a big hotel. Then 2020 they handed over Meraki Genesis and ranked among the top 10 projects of 2020 by the Dubai Land Department. So that was a big milestone for them as a developer, their very first project. 2021 was the handover of Acacia by MR at Dubai Hills Estate. They have been doing contracting for leading names, the likes of MR, Ellington, and a few public organizations as well. Then 2022 they launched Haven 1 at Majan. 2023 they got into steel manufacturing. They established their own steel manufacturing facility, a massive one, around 50,000 square meters. Launch of Haven 2 2024, fourth project. Haven 3 in 2025, all off plan. Haven 1 is already handed over. Genesis is already handed over. Rest of the projects are off plan. Haven 1 was handed over in 2025, which was a huge success. Now let's understand the performance of Haven 1, because that is where you would be able to understand how, as a developer, how their projects are performing in the market. So this is their journey. What we need to understand is they are a vertically integrated company. They do their own manufacturing, steel manufacturing, tiles, or whatever the manufacturing materials, raw materials, they have their own sourcing. So they are a vertically integrated organization, just like Soba. Since they have the advantage of pricing, when we understand the pricing, it's fairly justifiable price compared to today's market conditions. They are able to offer that price because they have their own production manufacturing. Now let's understand Haven 1, the recently handed over project, how it has performed in the market, because that is where you would get the confidence, that is where you'll understand, okay, as a developer, how are they performing. So Haven 1 was launched at Majan, which is not a leading or mainstream location. It's, you could say, a tier 3 location, not that famous, nothing much happening in Majan, unlike various other locations. Like I talk about Expo City very often. It's not like Expo City, or to that matter, it's not even in the likes of maybe JVC or various other even tier 2 locations, right? It's a very random location. So if you understand the performance of Majan, this is I just took one bedroom for example. Yes, you could compare 2 beds, 3 bed studios as well, but I just took one bedroom because that will give us a fair picture of what's happening. The average rental is 56,426 for a one bed at Majan. Most of the buildings are not that great. Average buildings. Average rental per square foot is 67 dirhams per square foot. Now, if you look at Haven 1, which was handed over, the average rental for a one bedroom at Haven 1 is 76,455 dirhams per year. An average rental per square foot of 101 dirhams. If you understand what this means, the average rental for a one bedroom at Haven 1 is 35% higher than the average rental of a one bedroom at the location Majan. Per square foot, if you look at how much people are willing to pay per square foot, the value people are willing to pay per square foot at Haven 1 in Majan, they are willing to pay 50% of a premium per square foot at Haven 1 compared to what they would normally pay for a one bedroom per square foot at a random project in Majan. That shows basically, because it doesn't matter how fancy the brochures are, it doesn't matter how fancy the promises are. What matters is ultimately how much people are willing to pay. That tells how consistent the delivery is, along with the brochures, along with the promises, how well the building is maintained. This is proof for that. So now let's understand some resales also, just to understand how much appreciation has happened and how investors have made money through resale in this project as well. So this is a studio. I've taken a screenshot from DXP Interact. The initial buyer has bought it from the developer on November 2023 at a price of 507,000, and then he has resold at 720,000 dirhams with an appreciation of 41.9%. It's a nice appreciation actually. For an affordable project, this is fantastic. If you look at it, one bedroom, this is an example of one bedroom. 776,900 is what the initial buyer has paid for, and he has resold it at 1.125 million with an appreciation of 44.8%. January 24 to December 25, just 2 years, 44% of an appreciation. What's more interesting is how much this person has paid, because it was a 40-60 payment plan. Let's understand the ROE in a moment, how much people have made leveraging the payment plan. And this is a scenario for a 2 bedroom, 999,000, sold at 1,380,000, 38% of an appreciation, right? So all above 35%, which is phenomenal, which is nice, right? And there are many cases, like there are 2 bedrooms where people have made even 42, 43% as well. And there are many cases. These are not one-off cases. I have not just taken a one-off case. When I went to DXP Interact, when I analyzed the project, I found that there are many such cases where people have made 30+% appreciation. Yes, the market was hot over the past 4-5 years. However, not every developer was able to achieve double digit or even 30+% of an appreciation in 2-3 years. Not every developer was able to achieve that. Those who were able to provide true value, they are the ones who were able to achieve that, because I personally know developers who launched projects at very affordable prices, very attractive price point, till the projects are almost about to hand over now. Investors are struggling with making money because of the quality, because of what they delivered. Unfortunately, market demands quality. The kind of people that are moving to Dubai, they demand a luxury lifestyle. They demand a certain lifestyle that you should be able to deliver through your project. If you are not able to deliver that, then people are not willing to pay a premium. Unfortunate reality, right? So when you invest in a project, you need to take those into consideration. You need to see what the developer is offering, what is he promising and what is he delivering. Is it in line with what the market needs? Then definitely the market is going to pay you that premium. That is what is reflected through these numbers. This is a bit of the performance of their recently handed over Haven 1 project. I share this so that we can understand what the developer has done and what they are capable of doing, right? Now let's understand the project that we are about to talk today. It's called Nirvana Residences and it's located at Production City. Before understanding the project, let's understand the location a bit in detail so that you would appreciate the investment opportunity. After that, we will talk about the project. This is where Production City is located. It's a central location, so to say. This is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road and this is Al Khail Road. Okay, and this is where JVC is. JVC is one of the famous community which got a lot of attention over the past few years. Right now there is so many options, investment options at JVC, and here you have JVT, here you have Sports City on this side, you have the Jumeirah Golf Estate on this side, and in terms of road connectivity is Al Khail Road, Mohammed bin Zayed Road, okay, this is Sheikh Zayed Road, this is Emirates Road, and there is going to be a future road that is going to be built from here to here. There is the road Al Fayz Street and it's going to be expanded. We'll understand the Al Fayz Street expansion and its significance in a moment. So in terms of road connectivity, it's very well connected. If you take Al Khail Road, you can go to downtown Business Bay. On this side, if you have Mohammed bin Zayed Road. Through this Al Fayz Road expansion, you can get to Emirates Road, right? So in terms of road connectivity, is very well connected. In terms of location, it's centrally located from here to Dubai Marina, JBR, Palm Jumeirah. It's around 20 minutes of a drive. Again, from here to downtown also, it's more or less 20 to 25 minutes of a drive. On the other side, if you look at from here to Expo City or from here to Al Maktoum Airport, it's again 15 to 20 minutes of a drive. The Etihad Rail is coming up and the only station of Etihad Rail belonging to Dubai, it's going to be less than 5 minutes away from this location, Production City. That's a big thing. We'll understand about the Etihad Rail also in detail in a moment. In terms of future developments, you get the Oasis project by Emaar right here. This is Oasis by Emaar. And you have the Riverside by Damac here. Then you have Emaar Heights Country Club as well as Emaar Polo Resorts. All these communities are here, right? So this land plot where Production City is located is already gaining traction, will gain traction naturally because these surrounding developments, you get the Emaar Oasis. Because of Emaar Oasis, because of Riverside, the Al Fayz Road is expanding and that is going to positively impact Production City naturally by default, right? So Production City is a location where, if you could say, it's not that much under the radar today. Agents are talking about so many locations. A lot of agents are talking about JVC and hence it's overhyped, I would say, JVC. But not many people are talking about Production City. It is considered a boring location. And honestly speaking, boring locations have the potential to make a lot of money if the fundamentals are right? Production City is a location where there is some solid fundamentals for an investor to make money because of all these developments happening around. Now, I want to explain two things particular bit in detail in this location, which I touched upon a moment ago. One thing is the Etihad Rail. The Etihad Rail station is located here, and then you have the Jumeirah Golf Estate metro station as well here. As I said earlier, this is the only station that Etihad Rail is going to build in Dubai, right? So Etihad Rail is going to be functional by the end of this year. Etihad Rail is a big thing. It's going to connect all 7 Emirates and it's going to cut travel time significantly throughout Emirates, particularly from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. The travel time is going to be just 57 minutes. So as a location, if you talk about Etihad Rail enables people living in Abu Dhabi or rather people working in Abu Dhabi but living in Dubai. There's a significant population like that. They live in the borders of Dubai towards Dubai South so that they can easily drive to Abu Dhabi and back. So there's a significant population of people like this. By default, once the Etihad Rail is functional, they are going to prefer living in locations around the Etihad Rail station, the only Etihad Rail station in Dubai. And that population is going to increase. I personally have spoken to investors who are considering moving to Dubai. Investors living in Abu Dhabi, considering moving to Dubai for various reasons. Like for example, you have the academic city in Dubai. Let's understand the academic city in the zoomed out map. So this is academic city. So you have the production city here. And this side is academic city. It's around 20-25 minutes of a drive from production city. And so, for example, if your kids are studying at academic city and if you're someone working at Abu Dhabi, this is a central location. You could easily get the Etihad rail and you could travel to Abu Dhabi, while your kids could travel to academic city from to this road network, which is already established. So that is a very key crowd that you could attract. Not only that, by default, when the Etihad rail, the only station that's going to come in Dubai is going to be less than 5 minutes away from production city, that location is going to gain a lot of traction. So that's one thing that I wanted to highlight. Etihad rail is a big thing that's going to positively affect prices of good properties, reliable properties around this location. And production city is one key location when it comes to that. The other thing is, which I also touched upon, is the Al Fay Road expansion. So this Al Fay Road, this is going to expand in this direction. So this is the official announcement for that. So there's going to be few key developments along this road. One is they are going to build a lot of bridges, 13,500 meters long bridges and 12,900 meters long of a road network is going to be built across this. It should have the capacity to accommodate 64,400 vehicles per hour, and it's going to benefit a population of 600,000 people living around this location. Right? That's a big thing. The current population in Dubai is around 4 million. 600,000 out of 4 million is around 15% of the population. So that's a big thing actually. It's going to benefit all the surrounding communities like Dubai Sports City, Jumeirah Village Circle, Production City, Jumeirah Golf Estate, Tilal Golf, Damac Lagoons, the Oasis by Emaar, Rimram by Dubai Properties. So that's a big development. Now if we understand how it's going to look like in the map, so this is Production City. This is the location for Production City, and this is Al Khail Road, and this is going to be Al Fay Road, right? The existing road network is up until this point. The number of lanes are also less. So it's going to expand, right? They are going to build 5 main intersections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main intersections and bridges as well, and road network, right? 12,900 meters of road and 13,400 meters of bridges are going to be built along this. So this is going to be a big thing. As I explained earlier, there are some mega developments happening. One is the Oasis by Emaar, which is a big development, one of the biggest master communities of Emaar. Then you have Emaar Golf Polo Resorts, Emaar Heights, Damac Riverside, all this here. And as I explained just a while ago, the Etihad rail is coming up here. So in light of all this, and in light of the developments happening in Dubai South, the government is coming up with this mega initiative, which is a big thing, which by default is going to positively affect Production City as a location. In a moment, we will understand where the project is located. Within Production City also, the project is located in a very key location with easy entry and exit. We will understand that in a moment also when we understand the project. Now let's get into the project. Nirvana Residences. This is how the building mock-up looks like. You have one basement, then one ground floor, 2 podiums, 19 residential floors and 1 rooftop. This is how it's going to look like. Don't mind the surroundings. There's going to be buildings here. There's going to be one building here also. So it's not showed in these renders, but that's how it's going to be. There's going to be some nice views from this side and this side. Okay. These are the most preferred units personally for me. There are some nice layouts also, decent layouts for that price point, because we need to understand one thing. This is not a premium project. It's not a premium price point. It's not 2 million, 2.5 million. We're looking at investments 1 million, even below 1 million, up to 1.5, 1.6 million, right? In that range, what they're offering, the kind of floor plans they're offering, the kind of amenities they're offering, that's some real value for money. That has the potential for investors to make money. We will understand that in detail in this section, right? This is how it looks like. One thing that really caught my attention among many amenities and among many offerings is these spaces, these garden spaces, which actually I made a short about this also, where the developer could have potentially made more money by squeezing in a few units. That's something really nice. Okay, we'll understand that in detail in a moment when we go through the renders and when we go through some pictures. To state the fundamental details, studios 1 and 2 beds, you have 127 studios, 178 1 beds and 84 2 beds. And these are the price ranges. Average sizes pretty decent, 405 square foot to 464 studios. Pretty decent sizes. 650 to 800,000 studios. I would not suggest investing above 750,000 on a studio. Likewise, at 1 bedrooms also, there is a certain price point beyond which you should not consider investing. Within a certain price bracket, it's going to be a nice investment, right? which units, which layouts, because I'm not going to go into detail into layouts in this video. That will drag my video, because as I always say, my video is all about understanding the numbers, understanding the untold story behind the brochure, right? Not the brochure. Even these numbers are already stated in the fact sheet in the brochure, which an investor, which anyone could have access to. But understanding what's behind this, that's where I come into play. That's my full-time job as an analyst. That's what I do. I have a team with me as well, so we work together in studying these projects, understanding the strategy behind these projects, going to developers' offices, understanding what the developers' motives are, understanding the location. So we are dedicated. We have a dedicated team working only in this, so that we could provide pure value to you as an investor, to understand the untold story behind the brochures, and to filter in the truly spectacular projects in the market where you could invest in, right? Now let's get into the details. So this is what I said earlier a while ago. I said I'll explain to you the connectivity of this particular project. Now if you look at, this is Al Fay Road, this is Mohammed bin Zayed Road, and this is Al Khail Road. Now this is the entire production city, but this project is located here. Now if you look at, it's very easy entry and easy exit. They have actually marked this. Now when you come from Al Fay Road, you through this is how you enter into the project. So it's easy entry, and even exit from here, you just directly, you can take this internal road and you can easily exit. You don't have to come to this part where there's most traffic. You don't have to come to this part or this part where there's a lot of traffic in the community, right? You can avoid all those and you can easily enter and exit. One main thing which I was not able to explain during the location is there's a mall here by Masjid Al Futem, Maizam City Center, just like the Mall of Emirates, just like the Dera City Center, just like the City Center Sharjah, and many other city centers, malls that are built by Masjid Al Futem. And the best malls in Dubai are built by Masjid Al Futem. If you have been to Dubai, so there is a mall belonging to Masjid Al Futem located right next to the project that we are talking about, very close, walking distance, right? This mall adds a lot of value to this location, and as a matter of fact, there's a lot of developments happening in this location around the road networks and everything. But if you look at the projects available in this location, there's the quality of the presently available projects are not that great. There are a few towers by Damac here, pretty old ones, so they were built some time back and they are not the most updated towers in terms of amenities and in terms of the offerings. Projects that are available are not that great. That's an opportunity as an investor that you could look at when you look at this project in this location. Now, just to understand the amenities, you have gyms, indoor and outdoor yoga studio, you have a separate calisthenics zone, infinity Baha pool with waves, you have a track paddle tennis, you have a dedicated changing zones, kids play area, lounging deck. You have a few family amenities as well, like a barbecue community area, parents lounge, and many like an outdoor cinema, outdoor shaded seating likewise. Then you have some amenities at the rooftop. You have a rooftop clubhouse where you have a co-working space, you have a landscape balcony, you have a gaming room, and you have a convertible party hall which you can use for family events, parties. Now let's understand some of the renders, how they are going to look like. This is how the kids play area is going to look like. This is the render of the kids play area. Entrance lobby is going to look like. Well, before going through the rest of the renders, let me explain you something. And this is the reason why I said this is very important. This is something that really caught my attention. Let's understand the renders of their previous project, Haven, and let's compare it with what was delivered. This was something mind-blowing for me. When it comes to an affordable category developer, the kind of delivery that they have made, when you compare it against what was promised, it was really mind-blowing. So this is a screenshot that I took from the brochure of Haven 1. This is a screenshot of the co-working space. Look at the screenshot. This is like the brochure. I didn't even crop this so that you'll understand it was from the brochure itself, right? And this is how it was delivered. This is a photo that me and my team, when we went there the other day, we took of the co-working space. Look how they have delivered, how they have matched what was promised in the brochure. They have even matched the colors of the sofa, even these tiny details, even like everything it looks great. As a matter of fact, what I notice is this tree is even better than what was promised in the brochure. That's something that really caught my attention, right? What they have promised versus what they have delivered. Likewise, this is how the facade looks like. This is what was promised in the brochure. So this is the clubhouse, Haven 1, Tower A and Tower B. This is how the clubhouse looked like in the brochure versus this is a photo that we took when we went there the other day. It's amazing. It's nice what they have delivered versus what they have promised. If you look at the kids play area, this is what was promised in the brochure versus this is what was delivered. Even the color of these teddy bears and the details, the color of these settees, these sponges, this furniture, everything is identical. This is the party hall that they have promised in the brochure versus this is what they have delivered. In the brochure, there are some lightings here which is turned off. It's not there, but everything else, how it looks like, it's nice. It's pretty high quality. It's pretty good for an affordable investment. One thing that we were discussing with our team is just imagine, picture this. This was their second project. When they were planning this brochure, for example, how much of collaboration would there have been with the other rest of the teams, with the production, with the engineering team, to make sure they deliver exactly even the teddy bear in the play area as it's promised in the brochure. That tells the quality of the developer. That tells how disciplined the developer is, how much the developer is willing, to what extent the developer is willing to go to in order to deliver a phenomenal product. That is what this developer is about. This is truly a phenomenal investment opportunity for you to look at within the range of 1 to 1.5 million. As I said in the beginning, finding good investment opportunities below 1.5 million is becoming harder and harder in today's market. And once in a while, someone like this comes up and offers something like this. This is something that's truly phenomenal. So now let's look at some renders what they are offering in their new project. These are some screenshots that I took from the render. This is the outdoor calisthenics area on the ground floor. This is how it's going to look like. Now you know that they will deliver what they promised, right? So this is how it's going to look like. And this is the infinity pool, how it's going to look like. A yoga area. This is a green space. As I said earlier, the developer has dedicated a few green spaces in between the floors, spanning across 2 or 3 floors, where they have kept it open without squeezing in any units into that, and they have offered seating areas. There are a few other features also which I can show. So this is also one such space. Like you can understand, they have offered seating areas, they have planted trees. This is kind of a green space, open space where you can hang out, you can sit, and you can take some fresh air. This is an element where developer decided to add value again instead of making extra money by squeezing in a few units. This shows the kind of attention to detail that the developer has provided. This is how the gym looks like. We were not able to take a photo of the gym when we went because people were working out and it was already functional. For privacy reasons, we were not able to take pictures of the gym as well as of the pool because even they looked very identical to the brochures at Haven 1, right? So this is how the gym looks like at this new project. This is the paddle tennis court. This is the barbecue family area in ground floor. This is the kids play area. Again, this is the indoor kids play area. Then you have, these are some renders of the interiors. Even the interiors also look very nice. We went to an apartment unit on the first floor, which they have dedicated as a show apartment. It's not like any show apartment where the developer builds in a separate other building to understand. This is the actual show apartment in an actual building they have delivered. So the quality was very nice for that price point, right? So this is how it's going to look like. And I'm pretty sure they will deliver this as it is. These are some renders of the washroom and everything. So let me show you the show apartment video that we took when we went there so that you can understand how it looked like. Now let's understand the payment plan for this project and the ROE aspect, how you can leverage the payment plan to maximize your return on equity. So there are two payment plans the developer is offering. Both are 40/60, but the 40% how it's distributed, that differs from one another. One is a bit of a bulky payment plan. If you have that capital at hand, you can go for this 15% down, along with the 15% you pay the 4% DLD. Then every 4 months you pay 5%. So you pay 40% within 13 months. Technically 44% within 13 months, including the 4% DLD. Then the 60% at the end of 2028 on handover. That's one payment plan. The other one, this is what caught my attention. This is the second payment plan. Again, 15% down, 5% 1 month later. Then you pay 1% every month for 21 months. So you would have completed 40%. And then you have around 1.5 years until completion from here to here to work on this 60%, right? At which point you can opt to go for a mortgage or you can pay the 60%. This payment plan is also something very important. There could be two reasons why a developer is offering a payment plan like this. One, the developer wants to push the project and sell it off fast. It may not necessarily be the best project in the market. So the developer is offering a lucrative payment plan to attract investors. Number two, the developer wants to create a statement, and the developer is still at the early stages. They still have not gained that recognition in the market. Hence, they are offering a very attractive payment plan, a very attractive pricing, and some exceptional amenities, some exceptional value for money in order to gain investors, in order to gain the attention. This is exactly how Ellington, before they became who they are, how Imtiaz, before they became who they are today in the market, strategized their entry into the market, right? They offered true value for money at a very affordable price with very flexible payment plans, and that's how they capture the market. So the real opportunity for you as an investor is to capture this, because once they gain the traction, their payment plans would be more and more aggressive, their prices would increase. This is the right opportunity for you to make money. Another example that comes to my mind is a developer called Nabni at Al Furjan. They did the same thing, and right now their pricing is on the high end. An example of how investors made money leveraging this payment plan in their Haven 1 project. Let me just walk through real quick. Now, if you look at this unit, which was initially sold by developer at a price point of 999K, a 2-bedroom, resold at September 25 at a price point of 1,390,000. The handover was on August, so most likely this investor had only paid 40%, because by the time the deal is registered in Dubai Land Department, so out of this 999K, the investor only paid 40%, which is around 400,000, and he made a profit of 390,000 over what he invested. So while the total appreciation of this property is 39%, the return on equity that the investor made is 97% on what he invested. If your strategy is to flip at handover, this is something that you could look at. Again, when it comes to this investment range, most of the properties, it's very hard to flip because there are many identical layouts. For example, if you take an example developer where they're offering around 5, 6, 700 units in a tower, there are many identical layouts, nothing unique in terms of the layouts. The number of units that they're offering are high. Hence, it will be a bit hard to flip at handover. With this developer, it's not going to be that hard. People are going to be willing to pay a premium at a handover and buy your unit if you choose the right unit. Okay, you have to be careful with that. So this is something that you could achieve if your strategy is to flip at handover. If you choose the right unit, I must stress on that. Not every unit is going to be able to achieve this. And again, kind of 39% appreciation in the next 2-3 years, that's also a bit unrealistic given today's market conditions. However, you could achieve around 25 to say 30% best case scenario. That's something you could achieve. Still, if you look at the 40/60 payment plan, the return on equity that you could achieve potentially if you invested today is going to be ranging between 45 to 65%, which is again a good return on equity when it comes to an affordable range investment given today's market conditions. Now let's understand the rentals, how it's likely to perform, what kind of rental ROI you could expect. I'll walk you through a few rental figures of one particular project at Production City. This was the closest comparison that I could find in terms of recent delivery and in terms of quality. This is called the Towers by OBS. This is located on the other side of the mall, right? So if you understand, this is where our project is. So the project that I just showed, Towers by OBS, is located in this location on the other side of the mall, which was handed over in 2020. Let's just understand the average rentals. So this is a studio which has rented at 75,000, again a studio at 78,000, a 2-bedroom at 158,000, a 1-bedroom at 108,000, right? There were not many towers that were this recent that had this many amenities. Most of the towers at Production City were old, which does not have the capacity to command this rent. But this project shows that there are people willing to pay this price if your offering is good. So I have taken a decent assumption for this project, Nirvana Residences, for studios 1 and 2 bedrooms. So for a studio, say 700,000, starting from 650, so decent price 700,000. A reasonable assumption of 70,000 of a rental. Once you minus all the costs that you are going to pay, including the 4% BLD, you are going to land at net ROI of around 8.7%. Once you have even minus the service charges. For a 1 bed, around 7.5, let's say you could say between 7 to 8%, right? Depending on where the unit is located, this rental could even go high. For a 2 bed, between 6.5 to 7.5%, depending on the placement, depending on where the unit is. This is what you could realistically achieve. These numbers are not too optimistic, not too conservative, but fair assumptions based on what people are paying for a quality apartment close to that location on the other side of the mall, right? Given the future, what's going to happen, the Alpay Road expansion, the Etihad Rail, which is going to be coming end of this year, I think figures even higher than this are practically achievable. But to be on the conservative side, this is something you could practically comfortably expect, and anything beyond this is going to be a bonus. This is a bit about the project. I hope I was able to explain to you, convey to you the whole analysis of this project, including the kind of returns you can expect, including the kind of rentals, what the developer is capable of doing, what the developer has delivered, so what the developer will be delivering with this. I hope I was able to convey everything that we analyzed. That's a bit about the video. For you to understand in detail about which floor plans are going to perform better, how to secure a good unit, and so on and so forth, because we have a very strong relationship with the developer and we can secure some really nice units. For you to understand the investment opportunity in detail, or if you're looking at any other investment opportunities in Dubai, I would suggest let's have a call. I would be happy to have a chat with you and see how it goes. With that being said, signing off until next time.